So the Xbox Series X has been released a little over a month ago, and I'm here to give you guys my review, give you guys my feedback, things I like, dislike. It's an opinion review. It's not an in-depth review. You know in your mind that you want an Xbox Series X. It's just some things that I noticed that I just want to point out. Now, if you guys missed my PlayStation 5 1 month later review, make sure you guys check that one out. You guys seem to love that one, and this one is going to be pretty much the same exact style. First things first, I want to point out the design. The design of the Series X definitely did grow on me. At first, I was like, this is a boring looking system, but when you get it in hand, this is a gorgeous, nice little system. You know what they say, less is more. They didn't really do too much with the design. It has a cooling fan on the top, and overall, it's just a bold looking console. It's simple, but effective, and it works, and it looks nice. I love the fact how this has a CD drive, unlike the Series S, which I'm gonna make a separate video talking about that, so I could be able to play my old Xbox 360, and some Xbox One games. You can basically play the entire Xbox catalog right here on your Xbox Series X, and I absolutely love that. Backwards compatibility is remarkable on Xbox. And to go alongside with the design, it is a matte finish, so if you have greasy hands, this is a fingerprint matic, so be careful. It's gonna get smudged up, but chance of you touching a console every 5 seconds is very slim unless you turn it on. I absolutely love the green accent on the top. Even though I thought that was a light when I first saw the console for the first time, it's actually just like a painting inside, so it just gives you the illusion of it lighting up. Xbox killed it, man. Less is more, absolutely. And even like the unboxing experience, that's one of the best gaming unboxing experience that I ever, man. Like the unboxing, it's just like, it's all black inside. So when you open up the box, it's like the console lift up. It's a remarkable unboxing experience, way better than the PS5. PS5 had a bunch of white cardboard and styrofoam. It wasn't really a pleasant unboxing experience, but the Xbox, they presented you with that console, and yeah, bravo to Microsoft for both the design department and the unboxing experience. They definitely did knock that one out the park. Now I know, who cares about the design, who cares about the unboxing experience, but just certain things I just want to point out. I want to talk about the controller. This controller is flat out amazing. This is way comfortable than the DualSense controller, although I still like the DualSense controller for fighting games such as Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and Street Fighter, even though Street Fighter isn't on the Xbox, Street Fighter 5 that is. I absolutely love the Xbox Series X controller, and for someone who missed the Xbox One, this is like a totally brand new console. If you're coming from the Xbox One, you're gonna feel right at home with this one, but just coming from a PS4 to just the Series X and PS5, if you wanna be technical, this is definitely a new experience for me. And the textured grip on the back, you're gonna definitely feel that at all times. So you guys see that textured grip on the back, man? Absolutely love that. So for hours of play, you're not gonna feel any fatigueness, sweatiness, that tactile and feeling, and even that same grip is on the trigger itself, except for the bumper on the top. And the analog sticks, they nice and concave, and just holding it for the first time, it just feels natural. It just fits in the palm of your hands. The controller size is even perfect too, in my opinion. Now, I was coming from the Xbox 360, and that controller was comfortable, but you have that big battery pack on the back, and you constantly feeling that. But now that we have a nice slim back, you don't feel nothing, and it feels so much more comfortable than the 360, because that was my last Xbox console. Now at first I wasn't a fan of the controller taking batteries, but I start to appreciate that. And you know why? The PS5 DualSense controller, that dies so quickly, man. It's an improvement, but it's still, I'd rather have a battery pack because, well, it lasts so much longer than a lithium ion battery, and Microsoft or Xbox sells a play charge kit, but it's sold separately. I feel like Microsoft should include it in the Xbox. I mean, why not? You know what I'm saying? They should have did that, but they gave you batteries to start off with, but then you're on your own. You have to spend $24, I believe that's how much the kit costs. Yeah, I feel like they should include that in the box, period. You know, literally, period. And if Sony would have did something like that, I would appreciate that. Just give us battery packs so we could purchase more packs along the way, and that would help the longevity of the controller. So what would you rather? Spend $25 on a battery pack or spend $70 on a brand new controller? I mean, do the math yourself. So I like the approach that Xbox took, but I hate the fact how the Play Charge Kit isn't included. So that's unfortunate. I didn't purchase it. I'm still rocking out with the old-fashioned batteries. And it's so funny because when I was using the Xbox controller, I'm thinking this is a Pro controller from Nintendo. So I'm pressing B thinking it's A to accept and A to B. I don't know. I got confused, but I got used to it 1 month later because the controllers feel so similar to one another. For the most part, I love this controller, and especially you have the Elite controller Xbox makes. You have different color variations to choose from. I gotta get that Elite controller next, man. I know it's $200, and $200 for a controller is an arm and a leg, but that Elite controller is gonna be something else. And to be able to swap out the analog sticks and the D-pad and just have that customization level is gonna be pretty sick. All right, so shifting focus to the console itself. Yes, the user interface. The user interface has been controversial because the UI is 1080p. It is not a 4K UI, and I think that's a little disappointing because when you're switching games, you're gonna get a split-second black screen because it had to switch resolutions. Versus like the PlayStation, everything is so seamless because everything is 4K. And you start to see that the text is blurry a little bit. You can still see it. And I understand it's just a UI, so it's gonna help you get to point A to point B. You know, who cares? But hope Microsoft can fix that. You know, seeing the difference between 1080p and 4K, that's a significant difference in my opinion. So hopefully Microsoft can, you know, put out an update to fix that. But other than that, the UI is not too bad. It is a little bit more complicated compared to the PS5. The PS5 is a little bit more simpler to get to point A to point B. You have your recently played games on the top, and then you have your My Games and apps. Everything is right there, and then yes, you have some ads there, but come on guys. Everything you need is right there, essentially. And if you want to search anything, you just press Y and you can search up anything you want. So it's not rocket science to learn the UI on the Xbox. But if you've been coming from the Xbox One, you're gonna probably feel a little disappointed because this is the same exact UI as the Xbox One. But like I said, I skipped the Xbox One, so this is a totally new UI. Now, I absolutely love Quick Resume. Quick Resume on the Xbox is just, it's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm gonna say it right off the limb, right off the bat. It's the best thing since sliced bread. To be able to play Killer Instant and then switch to Doom Eternal, then switch to Control, it just doesn't get no better than that, guys. Everything is just within seconds, if not maybe just 1 minute. But there are some caveats to it because, well, it doesn't work all the time. I would say it works 80 to 90% of the time, and that's still a very good percentage. But then you have that 10% where it's like it didn't save my last session, so there's no quick resume. But when it works, it's just like, it makes me smile every time. Like, man, like going back to the PS5, it's like, man, I wish Sony would have a feature like this, but unfortunately, it's just not present on the PS5. But it's still important to make sure your games are saved. Don't just rely on the quick resume. Even if your console is off, like just completely off, you yank out the power cable, quick resume will still work, guys. Like, man, quick resume is remarkable. And then even the Xbox will tell you, quick resume, Game Pass on the bottom, like it tell you exactly what's what. And speaking of Game Pass is another reason why I even picked up an Xbox. So if you get your Xbox today, if you're lucky enough, you have a plethora, not plethora, but you have hundreds of games right there available. Unlike with the PlayStation, you have to buy certain games. Like, and by the time you turn around, you're spending hundreds of dollars. While meanwhile, if you just subscribe to Game Pass, which you can start a trial, I think right now they have it for 3 months for $1. This is not streaming. You're downloading the game, so you don't have to worry about any lag or delay. And the thing is, if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you could play online too, so it doubles as Xbox Live Gold. Yeah, it's just the list goes on and on with Xbox Game Pass. Now, I'm gonna be honest, the download speeds isn't as fast as the PS5. The PS5 had that insanely fast custom SSD, while the Xbox Series X has just the standard SSD. It's still fast, but you gotta take that into consideration. And also what's weird is the Xbox doesn't have Wi-Fi 6. I don't know why. Why not? The PS5 has Wi-Fi 6 right out the box, so it's a little bit more future-proof having that Wi-Fi technology. If you're just stuck on Wi-Fi 5, 5, 7 years later, you're gonna have a very slow Wi-Fi card. Now, yeah, Wi-Fi 6 is gonna get old too, but it's better to have that one step ahead than just having just Wi-Fi 5. It's fine now, but think about the longevity. Also, there's no Type-C. That is another weird thing. Right now, you guys probably not gonna care about that, but longevity, where things are gonna start adapting to Type-C, you're gonna miss. You're gonna really do miss having a Type-C port on your console. I'm happy that Sony at least included one, but Microsoft, unfortunately, no Type-C is present here. Now the fan noise, you don't hear nothing. When I mean nothing, you don't hear nothing. This is something that time will tell throughout time. Once the Xbox start to collect more dust, maybe the fans will start to wrap up a little bit. If you guys want to see a fan test video like 5, 6 months later from now, I'll be happy to make a video showcasing the fan speeds between the two consoles, PS5 and Series X. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. It is so crazy to say that everybody wants a PS5. You don't really hear too much talk going on with the Xbox, but come on, man, show Xbox some respect. At this point, getting a PS5 is like a status symbol. And what's important is it depends on your friends. If your friends have the Xbox, then it would be feasible to buy an Xbox because you could talk to your friends and play with your friends. But if a lot of your friends have PlayStation, then unfortunately, the better experience will be on PlayStation. But that's just how it is. You know, whatever your friends are, that's where you should probably be at. I just picked up the Xbox just for good measures and just good times. I just miss playing Halo, Gears, and some of my classic Call of Duty games. And believe it or not, the Xbox is more powerful than the PS5, but the PS5 has a faster SSD. And we don't know how the developers are gonna utilize the power, the extra power on the Xbox versus utilizing the SSD speeds. But I think they're gonna probably utilize the SSD speeds more because the power difference isn't really too significant. You know, I'm not a developer, I'm not a coder. The SSD is more important than the computing power if it's the same, relatively the same. But all in all, the Xbox Series X is a fantastic choice for next gen. Although you're missing some blockbuster games such as The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Street Fighter V, just to name a few, and Ratchet and Clank, you're missing out on a lot, but this is still a fantastic option. From Quick Resume, the Game Pass, the controller, I see Microsoft making the biggest comeback with the Series X, and I feel like Microsoft, they know what they're doing now.